Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. So another fluid art creation. I'm using a 20 by 20 inch canvas. I'm actually recycling the canvas. It was a previous design. I've gessoed over it. I've painted the edges, so it's all good to go again with a new one. And I'm using all of my paints up from some previous creations. So I've got some purples, some blues and some metallics. And I'm going to show you the technique shortly, and I'm going to take you down onto the canvas to see how I've prepared my canvas. All the colours that I'm going to use, I can't remember all of them offhand, but I will look it up and I will drop all those colours and the brands in the description box below. So if you'd like more information, just expand that box and you'll see all the information there, including all my ratios and my consistencies. I'm excited as always, and it's so great that you're here with me. So let's see what we can create. So here is the canvas that I'm recycling. It's one that I did a previous design on, but I gessoed over the top of it, rubbed it down so it's got a smooth surface. The gesso just adds that layer to enable more paint to go on top so it doesn't peel off. I've actually painted the sides just to tidy them up before I start to paint. And here are all my colours that I'm probably going to use all in just one cup. So that's right, I'm going to do a straight pour today. I'll show you how I layer all my paints in the cup. But these are the colours that I'm going to go for. So I've got a bronze, I've got a silver. This one's an Arteza. I think it's Arctic or Glacier Blue. But again, I will list everything in the description box. This is a King's Blue, Titanium White. This is a Lamp Black. I've got the Iridescent Gold by Pebeo. A couple of violets. I need to look those up to drop them in the description box. I've got a Prussian Blue and a metallic blue. So all those colours that you see here are going to go in this cup. I'm going to layer that cup up and I'm just going to do a straight pour on the canvas, and I can't wait to see how all these colours complement and work with each other. So let's go. So I'm literally going to take one colour at a time and layer it in my cup. So I've got enough paint in my cup. I'm just going to add this metallic blue on top. There we go. Plus cheesy grin. I'm going to add a little bit of paint on my canvas, just in the centre. And I'm just going to puddle that paint in the centre. Pick my canvas up, swirl it around. And I'm just going to pour the paint that we've layered in the cup on top of that puddle. So it just gives me a point to focus on, and I'm literally just going to pour it straight from the cup onto the canvas. I'm moving the cup in different directions, and as you can see, as the paint hits the canvas, it creates already some different patterns. So I'm now just going in a circular motion and then back and forth, creating different lines. And I'm doing that because when I stretch this out, when I tilt the canvas and the paint travels from side to side, corner to corner, it's going to open up those lines and reveal a really interesting pattern. I'm just using my torch just to pop any of the air bubbles. So with both hands, I'm literally picking up the canvas and I'm going to start spreading that paint out across that surface area. You'll notice that I'm doing it in a circular motion. I'm going to quickly show you the details before I stretch it out further. You can see all those lines and patterns that have already been created as we poured the paint from the cup. So again, I'm just back to tilting the canvas from side to side, spreading the paint out across that surface area. I'm really looking at how those lines are opening up, how those colours are working with each other. And once I've covered most of that surface area, it's then time to tilt the paint down the edges, to the corners, down the sides. And then I move the paint back on itself again. That's to allow me to move that volume of paint that's already there across that full surface area to cover all the white area that's laid bare on the canvas. I tilt the canvas, but I also move it. I place it back on my table, turn it around, and pick it up again to tilt. That just really helps me look at the pattern that's being created, and it gives me that visualization of the composition that I'm trying to achieve. And it's only when you're really looking at your piece, having a feel for the paint, tilting it and opening up those lines and those patterns is when you'll get a good feel for the composition that you want to achieve. You'll know what areas you want to see more of, the areas that you want to open up a little bit more by tilting that paint further down the sides towards the edges. And then once you're happy with that, you can place it back on your table, tidy up the drips down the sides, and I'll take you in shortly for a close-up of the wet version. So here we go. I'm going to take you in now for a closer look at the wet version. I will of course let this dry so you can see the final. But what I would ask is, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and let me know in the comments below what you think. And I'm thinking of tweaking this even further once it's dry, but more about that later in future videos, because I'd really like to embellish some of the creations that I'm making at the moment. And we can easily do that and transform pieces even further. But I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to take you in for a close look at the dry version. And here's the dry version. I really love the detail that's centered in the middle. I'm going to do a close-up on that so you can see all those lines and how all those colours have really come together. That's probably my favourite part right there. I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for supporting me week on week. I really appreciate you being here. And let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see more of. What techniques would you like me to try? And are there any colour palettes you'd also like me to trial too? Thank you so much for being here. Have a great week ahead, and I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.